Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, be sure to subscribe down below. To be honest, I'm a little scared to film this video because I feel like these videos are just asking for criticism and judgment on how you spend your money. But the reason I want to make this video is because I've been so into these videos and watching them recently. I feel like these really became a thing a year ago, but I guess I'm just late on watching all these videos. There's just something about seeing the way people spend their money. Maybe it's just me being really nosy and wanting to see what people are spending their money on, but yeah, I've just been loving watching these videos, so I figured I would make one for you guys. At the end of going through everything that I've spent this month, I'm gonna give you guys some tips and some ways that I honestly save a lot of money over time. I've been taking note of them for the past couple months, knowing that I wanted to talk about them in a video. Just like little ways that I realized money is adding up. And I feel like some things people don't even talk about or you don't even realize. So I really wanted to make sure I gave you guys those tips. So that'll be at the end, stay tuned. And I think bottom line, I've always just been really interested in money. Maybe that's the business major coming out in me, just always thinking about numbers. And I think I just really try to optimize the money that I'm spending, the money that I'm saving. I always want to be doing the right thing with it, if that makes sense. And I should tell you upfront that I will not be including the money that I spend on rent every month. I didn't know if that was like weird to include, if you guys even cared. And obviously it just differs so much by where you live and location. What I can tell you is the rent here where I live in Pennsylvania is like a third of the rent of the apartment that I lived in Boston, which is just mind-boggling to think about. And obviously my boyfriend Max lives here with me and we both pay for the rent. So yeah, it'll be like everything but the apartment. I guess the cable, electric, gas, internet, that's not gonna be included just because I kind of just went through my Amex bill, so it'll be everything on there. And before we get into it, I wanted to tell you guys about Upstart. Thank you so much, Upstart, for sponsoring today's video. It's very on brand for this video that's just all about money. And the reason I really wanted to tell you guys about Upstart is because last year pretty much showed us that you never know what life is gonna throw at you. And if you use credit cards to pay for unexpected expenses, that debt can get really overwhelming. So Upstart is just the fastest and easiest way to get a personal loan to pay off all your debt all online. Whether it's paying off credit cards or consolidating high interest debt, I know over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get a simple fixed monthly payment. And with a 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rate upfront for loans from $1,000 all the way to $50,000. I know you can get approved same day and receive your funds as fast as one business day. So if debt is taking over your life, it's time to get a fresh start with Upstart. So to find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today, go to upstart.com/Gretchen. If credit card debt is something you're dealing with, I know it can be so scary and overwhelming. So if you're considering using Upstart, go to upstart.com/Gretchen. I know loan amounts will be based on your credit, your income, and other information you provide in your loan application. And now let's get on into the rest of the video. All right, I have it broken into different categories for you guys. So let's go through the categories. First, we have food, then car, then Brody, my dog, personal care, shopping, subscriptions, and then miscellaneous. So first, food. I was pretty surprised. Let's just say overall, I'll tell you guys the total at the end, but overall I was just surprised on how much everything adds up. I guess that's not surprising, things add up quick, but like food in specific, when I was going through all the restaurant charges, do I seriously eat out that much? So this has been very eye-opening for me and very helpful. So in each category, I categorized a little further so I didn't have to go through every charge. So in the food category, the restaurants category in total was $250.45. That is like so much money for food, but it was including like a more expensive Italian restaurant, Chipotle, Starbucks, Thai food. So yeah, $250 on eating out. And see, I didn't really know where to put this Target expense for the month. The total I spent at Target was $173.27. I'm assuming the majority of that was food, since a lot of times if I'm over there, it's just really convenient and right there, so I'll just grab groceries in there. But it could be other things too. So this food category might be more than it actually was because I probably bought other random stuff at Target. I never know like what my Target expense is unless I go look at the receipt, because I feel like I buy home decor and shampoo and food and Brody stuff, you know, all in one trip. So not so much I spent at Target for the month. And then I spent $65.10 at Whole Foods. This is so interesting to me. I'm very curious because this is the only specifically like grocery place for the whole month, but that's because I think right before this month started, I did a huge Trader Joe's run, so that's not included in this month. But I think that's what allowed me to buy so little groceries, because I had all that Trader Joe's food already. And Trader Joe's is a big like money saving tip for for me, which you will see at the end, like I said. So it's really weird to me that I didn't go to Trader Joe's this whole month, but you guys know it's because it's like an hour away. So I think I just went right before this month started, and I probably was just getting other little things like produce and stuff, yeah, at Whole Foods and Target, to eat with like a bunch of bagels that I have in the freezer from Trader Joe's or whatever. So $65.10 at Whole Foods, and then I spent $14.81 at CVS, which I'm assuming were like snacks. So that's why that's in the food category. So altogether, my food category for the whole month was $503.63. That seems like a lot of money to me to be spending on food, and half of that was the restaurant. So yeah, I think I could be a little more cognizant how much I'm eating out, and if I need to order Thai food all the time, or if I could just eat the food that I have here, you know? Okay, next category. This is by far the most expensive for this whole month, and really made me be like, wow, and just put it into perspective. This is the car category, and oh my gosh, I just don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it. My car payment every month. Oh my gosh, I'm like sweating. This is really spilling the tea because I don't think I've ever admitted this. I think I would talk about it with friends and family and being like, I really messed up and wish I could go back in time and do this differently, but it's too late now. My car payment every month, and what it has been for the past 3 years that I've been paying off my car, is $750.45. Like, why? What? Like, so ridiculous. That is the most, oh my gosh, that is just so dumb. I think I just didn't realize in the moment. I bought my car almost 3 years ago, and I just did not put enough money down, is what I'm now realizing. I think I was 19 at the time, and I wish I had someone to tell me, Gretchen, put more money down on your car, because if you don't, your car payment's gonna be like astronomical. And I think after I went and did it, I was like, ooh, I'm so independent. My mom was like, what are you doing? Why is your car payment so much? So I think bottom line is I just didn't put enough money down. I didn't really know what I was doing, and I paid it off over 3 years because I don't even think I had a credit score back then, or barely. Anyway, it was very new. I don't even know if I had credit cards. So I definitely wanted to finance my car to build up good credit. That's like a whole other conversation, but that's definitely helped me in that aspect, making my car payments monthly every month, and has, you know, helped improve my credit score for the future if I want to buy a home, anything like that. And you know what, as much as that car payment stings, I only have 2 more months of it, because I'm about to pay off my car, because it's almost been 3 years with my car. And you know what, it just hurts because my car is always in the shop, it's always having issues. I feel like I spend thousands of dollars on it every year to maintain it, and so the fact that I haven't even finished paying it off just like stings a little extra. Okay, for car insurance every month I pay $126.21. I feel like that's pretty good for car insurance. I've heard of friends of mine that pay a lot more, I feel like, at my age, which is pretty young, or maybe that's normal. Maybe I just have a good car insurance company, I don't know. $126.21. I paid $55 on tolls. I paid $142.79 on gas. Seems like a lot for gas for the month, or is that like normal? The mall is like an hour away, so much I spent on gas. And then I spent $3.40 on parking. I probably was getting my nails done, which I know I did this month, and I pay for parking down there. So the total for the car category for the month is $1,077.85. That car payment is just, if you take one piece of advice from this video, if you are buying a car like I did, just put more money down so your car payment isn't crazy. Or maybe I should have just financed it over a longer period of time, like I know some people do, 5 years. I don't know why. I just, honestly, my car was like a spontaneous purchase, which is an issue in itself. So I think I was just like trying to get out of the dealership and get in my new car, and I'm like, woo, yeah, I'll just put this much down, like over 3 years, sure, sounds good. Like I just didn't really think about it. Okay, next category is Brody, and I spent $76.82 at PetSmart, which is also curious to me because normally we will auto ship his food on Chewy. Maybe, but honestly, this started happening a couple months ago where he's just eating more and more, and so however many weeks I had the auto ship set up for, it was coming too late and he was finishing his bag of food, and I would like run to PetSmart and grab another one to make sure he didn't run out of food. So $76.82. I probably got treats and fun toys and stuff, so that's probably why that was that expensive. And then a Chewy charge for $53.58. That's definitely his food being auto shipped, like I said. So the total is $130.40, but really all that I paid was $65.20 because Max and I always split everything having to do with Brody. Also making me realize some of those food charges, I didn't even think of this till right now. Max always Venmos me, like if I buy food food or get groceries, he always Venmos me half. But sometimes we just do the best we can, because like maybe I bought Ty one day because he bought it the other day, or we kind of like go back and forth, or Venmo, just whatever we decide in that moment. Like this is pretty close to what I spend in a month, but it could be a little off based on like Venmos and Max and I splitting things. Okay, next category is personal care. I'm so impressed in this category. I have 2 charges for the whole month. I guess however you slice it, it could be more from my shopping category, which is next. But I spent $50 on a dip manicure. You guys know I get dip nails. I get dip nails. Here's what they look like, and they're really worth it to me, worth every penny. And then I spent $53 again on a dip manicure. I guess however it worked out, I must have got them done at the very beginning of the month and then like the very end, because normally I just get them done once a month. So total for personal care was $103. I wonder why $1 and one was $53. Maybe I just like tipped more, I don't know. Next category is shopping. This one's pretty bad. Okay, $16.99 at Dick's Sporting Goods. I actually remember this in specific. I went to go get a Carhartt beanie for my twin sister Lucy, who's been living in Ireland. She really wanted one and couldn't get one over there, so I went and found one for her and shipped it to her, which you'll see in the miscellaneous, the shipping expense to friggin' Ireland. Okay, next up in shopping is $78.94 on Amazon. God knows what that, probably things I really needed. Probably not. Like, what am I even buying on Amazon? Just like random stuff, honestly, that I see on people's Instagram swipe ups. I'm just like, oh, I need that. Arvin said this, or Brooke, and I swipe up and buy it on Amazon because it comes in like 1 second. Then I spent $120 at Orate, New York. You guys know my favorite jewelry company. All of these are from Orate. These rings, they just have really dainty gold jewelry. They're my favorite and I can't get enough of them, so I spent $120 there. Then I spent $70.45 at Nordstrom Rack, and I remember this one in specific too was one of those Barefoot Dreams blankets. You guys know I love them. Oh my gosh, I can't believe there's not one up on this couch right now, because we always have them everywhere. So comfy. I love this Barefoot Dreams blanket so much. I can link it down below if it's in stock. But Lucy didn't have one. I knew she needed one. I knew I was sending her stuff, so I got this one for her. So some of this is like presents. I guess there could be like a present category. This Barefoot Dreams blanket I ended up shipping to her. And then I spent $124.80 at Princess Polly. I think those were like sweatpants I really wanted. Then I spent $40 at Skims, which I know were the pack of face masks I got. They're this nude color. I really like them. They go with every outfit. I wear them a lot. We need to wear face masks. Kind of a necessity, a little bit. Maybe a little expensive for face masks, but I really like them. Then I spent $63.59 at Bed Bath & Beyond on a waffle maker. Worth every penny. This waffle maker has been amazing. We ate waffles this morning. Yeah, I'm so happy about that purchase. We freaking love this waffle maker. Then I spent $76.32 at Ulta. Maybe this could be in the personal care section. I'm guessing that's just makeup that I needed, that I was out of. And then I spent $88 at Lululemon. Shocker, I love Lululemon. So see, all of that doesn't sound too bad to me, but when you add it all up, I spent $679.09 for shopping for a month, which is telling me I should sort of plan out a little budget and tell myself, Gretchen, maybe you can only spend this much in a month, and once you've hit the limit, you have to wait and sort of consider if you really want it. Maybe you can get it next month when the budget refreshes. I don't know. I've never really been good with budgeting. But next category is subscriptions. I spent $9 on my Billy razor refills. You guys know, I think that video went live before this one where I had girl chat, and yeah, these are just the best razors ever, and I get new razor cartridge refills, and they are so much cheaper than the Venus ones I used to buy at CVS. So that's such a good subscription, worth every penny. Then I spent $40. It's came up as like Equinox subscription, but it's for my SoulCycle bike. So worth it. I ride my SoulCycle bike all the time, and I just love my SoulCycle classes on there. So you, like, I paid for the bike in the beginning, but then you pay $40 a month just to have like the classes. I know there's live classes on there. Very worth it to me. Then I spent $9.99 for Apple storage, because I have, you guys always freak out when I tell you, so I'm gonna look right now and tell you an updated number. I have 78,292 photos in my little photo app on my phone, and then I have, where's videos, 7,107 videos. So wait, is that counted in the album? I don't know. I have a lot of freaking stuff on my phone, and so I pay for like the most expensive iCloud, like all the storage. I think it's 2 terabytes to store all of that, but worth it for me, for my job and what I do. I have pictures and videos all over the place. Then I spent $6.99 on Disney Plus. Also worth it to me. You know what, I feel like we haven't been on there in a bit, but I love watching movies on there, and then you don't have to like rent those movies individually, so I feel like you end up saving money. Then I spent, oh wow, there's a lot of subscriptions in here, and these really do add up because it's every month. I spent $14.99 on Zoom. The reason I have a Zoom membership, I actually didn't have this. Well, I feel like no one had a Zoom subscription before March last year, before like quarantine and pandemic and everything, but I got this because I wanted to have guests on my podcast, but obviously couldn't record with people in person. So I started getting membership so that I could record over Zoom and save it that way. It's just easier. So yeah, $14.99 every month on Zoom. That's kind of expensive, but I guess that's what you do. Then $9.99 on Spotify, also very worth it to me. We listen to Spotify all the time. And then $15.77 on Sirius Radio, which is the radio in my car, like the Sirius radio. And that's kind of expensive is what I'm realizing, but that's what I listen to every time in the car. I know a lot of people hook up their phone and play like through Spotify, which I should be doing because I pay for Spotify, but I always like listening to just hits one. I'm so boring, and yeah, I like the Sirius Radio. So my total for subscriptions is $106.73. That is a lot every month, but all of those things individually I use and I really like. So I feel like I have cut out subscriptions in the past that I realized I wasn't using. So I think that's not that bad for subscriptions. Then my miscellaneous section, which happens to all be the US Postal Service, USPS, the post office. So $74.35 USPS is the first charge, and I know that was the big box that I shipped over to Ireland. I was like, wow, $75, but honestly I thought it was gonna be worse because it's going so far, and it was like this big box, the Barefoot Dreams blanket, the Carhartt beanie, like other presents I had gotten her the month before. And so yeah, that's the most expensive one. And then I spent $22.75 at USPS again, then another $27.94 at the post office again. So my total miscellaneous category, which is really just shipping cost, is $125.04. I think the other things were just things I was shipping to my mom or friends. So yeah, okay, ready? Drum roll. The grand total, I really hope I did the math right, I like double checked, is $2,660.54. That sounds like a lot of money. It is a lot of money, but over a whole month, reasonable, right? I think that's reasonable. I think things that I recognize I could cut back on immediately would be the shopping and the car. I cannot wait till I don't have a car payment. My car is paid off in like 2 months. Also the eating out so much. So this has helped me realize what I could cut back on. But yeah, that's how much I spend in a month, and that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think of any other things I could be missing. I guess this isn't really what I'm spending. Oh yeah, this is important. I wouldn't say I'm spending this money, but I'm just sort of allocating it to savings. I save a lot of my money. Thank goodness it took me like 23 years to finally set up automatic savings. I don't know why I didn't have that for the longest time. Don't worry, I did save money in the previous 23 years of my life. I only recently started doing the automatic like withdrawals out of your account every month, which thank goodness, because it just makes it a lot easier. But I used to just let it pile up in my checking or savings account or whatever, and then I would give it to my financial advisor to invest. But I'm really happy that I have automatic savings now, which brings me to how I save a lot of money over time. My little tips I've written down for you guys. So the first thing is something that I don't do really well, but I feel like it's just obvious. So if you didn't know, I would just say this first thing is having a budget or tracking your spending. I mean, I did just track my spending for a month, and it's not as bad as I thought in certain ways, but worse in other ways. So it can just be eye-opening and show you like, maybe I don't need to spend this much money here or there, you know, it can just help in that way. And then having a budget, like limits or things that you know you're gonna spend certain amounts of money on every month, just like a plan can really help. But I'm not good at that because I'm very spontaneous in some ways when I'm spending my money. Honestly, this isn't so bad. I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of spontaneous shopping, like the Amazon, the Skims. I know I swiped up on someone's Instagram story and bought those face masks and was influenced in a lot of ways, but yeah. Definitely tracking your spending, budgeting can be super helpful, and avoiding debt. I mean, going along with Upstart, like I said earlier, that helps you pay off your debt. Avoiding debt is something that I typically do. I probably would have paid my car in full in the beginning if I could have. Could I have? I don't remember. It was like 3 years ago, but I knew I needed to finance it to help my credit score and build it up over time. But if you can avoid debt, I know that sounds probably very intuitive, like to save money, avoid debt, but seriously, if you can pay off something paying in advance. I think that's better than financing it a lot of times. Now I'm feeling like a hypocrite because I feel like I've financed a lot of things like my phone, my car. Another tip of mine is literally grocery shop at Trader Joe's if you have a Trader Joe's, which is funny because I didn't even shop at Trader Joe's this month, but seriously, it's just so much cheaper. I just started realizing, I think I realized when I was in Boston because I literally lived across the street from a Whole Foods, and I would go there and do a full grocery shop and it'd be like 200 bucks. But if I would do a full grocery shop at Trader Joe's, it would seriously be half as much, like $100. And I would get the same stuff, but Trader Joe's is just so much cheaper, and it's just fun and good vibes in there. The workers are so nice. I think it can be tough, certain things. I know they have like a limited availability, like they're smaller stores in less stock keeping units. Wow, I'm like thinking back to my business classes, there's less SKUs. I remember learning all about Trader Joe's. Anyway, if there's like really specific ingredients or things you're trying to find, they might not have at Trader Joe's, but like everyday necessities, and they have like fun, exciting things, you know, like cookie butter and like coconut cashews and I don't know, all their like novelty things. But it literally is just so much cheaper, I feel like, than other grocery stores. So shop there if you have one, because I wish I had one closer to me. It's like an hour away. Okay, this one I seriously did not know until like a month or two ago, and I'm like, where have I been? So if you have a credit card, which I would recommend obviously spending responsibly on credit cards, but the reason I would recommend that is because there can be so many perks and offers with spending money where if you just spent it in cash or on a debit card, you wouldn't be getting those perks and offers. So for me, obviously no traveling now, but for the longest time I was traveling so much, and so having a travel airline credit card helped me so much because I would rack up miles for every dollar I spent, and it would just make traveling a lot more affordable, and I would use my miles to purchase flights. Oh yeah, so what I realized though is that I think on a lot of credit cards, there are credit card offers that you can add to your card. So I just didn't even see this in my little Amex account, but one day I was like, what is that? Credit card offers. And I was scrolling through all these brands that had like offers with Amex, and it would just say add to cart, add to cart, add to card. And all you have to do is find the brand that you think you'll spend money at and click add to card, and then when you spend money there, you'll get like a percentage back or whatever the offer is. So I remember I started using this and I'm like, why haven't I used this in the past? Whenever you're about to buy something, just like look through there. I can only speak specifically to Amex because that's a card I use the most. So if you have an Amex, but I'm sure other cards do this too. And it was like spend $100 at Lululemon, get $20 back, stuff like that. So I would click add to card, and then I would get like $20 off a purchase. Or I think sometimes it's percentages. It's like get 15% off of this store. Actually, I remember one of them, I told you guys I had a $40 charge for Equinox for my SoulCycle bike. I remember one of them, it said it was like get up to 3 months free of this Veris subscription, and so having that added to my card, it would just like refund me the money after. It would be like a credit on your account. So that was like really shocked to me, and definitely a big tip if you guys have credit cards to use the offers on there because you can seriously save so much money. Okay, this one I feel like has been a downfall of mine, but also something that is a way that I've saved a lot of money. Store credit cards. So tread lightly because you don't want to get so many of them like I have, and they're hard to keep track of. But the reason I've gotten a lot of store credit cards, like Sephora credit card, Nordstrom credit card, is because I've seriously saved so much money with them. The Sephora credit card, I get all these offers all the time, or like $25 notes, I think might be what they call them. I know Nordstrom calls them notes. So every time I'm checking out at Nordstrom, I swear it's like add a $20 note, or I have 3 $20 notes. I need to like look at how it really works because I don't even know. But basically you just get money off your purchases all the time if you have these store credit cards, and you get access to sales early and stuff like that. So that's definitely a way I've saved money, but obviously if you spend responsibly, you have to pay them off, or you will rack up the credit card debt and the interest, and you don't want to be paying that. But if you can pay responsibly, I think the perks can make the store credit cards really worth it. Okay, I don't even know how to call this category, but like commission, promo, rewards type of things. I'm sure a lot of you know about Honey, but it's just like a browser extension. And seriously, recently I went on there, and I think it just is running every time you are checking out on a website. And oh, this is what it was. It was Honey Gold. And so I went on my Honey account and I had all this Honey Gold saved up, and it gave me literally a $50 Sephora gift card. I think I could pick from a bunch of different retailers, but obviously that was so nice and literally saved me money like for free. It was just a browser extension running on my computer. Also, I've used things like Rakuten, Ibotta. Recently, I started using Fetch Rewards, which is so easy. You can like scan receipts and save money that way. Those are like little amounts of money, but they really add up over time. I finally started doing the automatic savings, which I would so recommend for you guys. I think there's a lot of ways you can set it up so that you just have automatic withdrawals from your account to go into savings, so that you don't even have to think about it and it's gone before you can even spend it. And my last tip for you guys is only having subscriptions that make sense for you, because obviously they're coming out every month and they definitely add up over time. Things like Billy, I know it's $9, I have it every other month, but that saves me so much more money than going to CVS and buying the Venus refill razor cartridges that are like $35. They're like crazy expensive. So yes, subscriptions that make sense for you. Oh, one subscription I realized that I didn't even get charged for this month, which makes sense because I think it comes every other month or every 3 months, is my Quip toothbrush head. I get a new one every 3 months, I think. And I think that's $10 or maybe $5 every time. And yes, it's like a subscription that adds up, but I feel like I would be paying more if I went to go get like a new toothbrush every month, and it's just really convenient. So yeah, I think those are all my money saving tips for you guys. I feel like I thought deep down that I had like some tea on ways to really save money, but I feel like it wasn't that much. But seriously, the credit card offers were like mind-boggling to me that I didn't even realize. The little rewards companies apps really do add up over time, and automatic withdrawal for savings so that you can't even touch it is so helpful. So yeah, that is what I spend in a month and how I am able to save over time. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.